Hi everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Odontology, the study of teeth. Today we are going to see about the cell injury in detail. Okay, let's see what is meant by cell injury, how it happened. Okay, first of all, let's take this is a normal cell. I have drawn a very normal cell. Okay, once this normal cell is started undergoing a stress or an extreme stress or pressure, first of all, this cell will try to adjust and adapt with the situation, and it will live, it will work along with the by adapting to the situation. So, first what happens is the cell will try to adapt, right? So, that is called cellular adaptation or cell adaptation. Once a minimal stress is applied to the cell, first it will adapt, and that is called cellular adaptation or cell adaptation. In the same way, if the cell is undergoing an extreme stress or a pressure or severe stress, once the pressure limit exceeds its limitations, means it will definitely will cause damage, right? So, it will result in the cell injury or cell damage. Okay, this is your severe stress. Just to indicate, I have drawn a arrow mark like this, I mean indicating that stress. Okay, this is how the normal cell will get damaged and produce a damaged cell. Okay, or this is called cell damage or cell injury. Okay, we are going to see cell injury in detail, and along that you have two types of cell injuries, that is reversible and irreversible. Reversible and irreversible we are going to see, but in this video we are just going to concentrate in reversible only. Okay, so this is the normal cell. Once the stress is applied, it will try to adapt with the situation, and that is called cellular adaptation or cell adaptation. And once the stresses exceeds its limitation, it will produce a cell injury or a cell damage, that is the damage to the cells, and causes changes or damage in the cellular components too. Okay, so it has two types, that is, one is your reversible cell injury and the other one is your irreversible cell injury. The first one is reversible. Reversible is nothing but once the stimulus is removed, I mean the constituent or the thing which is creating damage to the cell is removed, means the cell can recover from a damaged position to its norm as a normal cell. Okay, once the stimulus is removed, the damaged cell can recover his health, and it will come to back to the as a normal cell. Okay, so see, this is once the stimulus is removed, this damaged cell will become normal cell, that is called reversible cell injury. Next one is your irreversible cell injury. Once the limitations has changed or it exceeds the limitations, definitely the damage will occur to the cell, that is called irreversible cell injury, or also called as cell death. You have two things, that is necrosis and apoptosis in that. Okay, we will be dealing with those things in upcoming classes. Okay, so irreversible cell injury is nothing but once the stimulus is removed also, the cell will not gain his health, and it will not come back to its normal as a normal cell. Okay, so it has two things, that is, one is your necrosis and second one is your apoptosis. The necrosis is a pathological reason, will have the necrosis happens due to a pathological reason, and the apoptosis is a normal programmed cell death, that the cell will have a proper lifetime. Okay, till that it will be there, because of the aging issues it will the system itself will decide whether the cell is gonna expire, or the cell is gonna die, that is your programmed cell death. Okay, let's see the causes of cell injury. Okay, you have almost 7 to 8 causes for the cell injury. Let's see one by one. Okay, your first one for the main cause of cell injury is your oxygen deprivation, that is the depletion of an oxygen. Okay, I have drawn here with the simple diagrams just to make you remember. Okay, so first one is your depletion of oxygen. It has two things, that is hypoxia and ischemia. These two terminologies is very important to know about the oxygen deprivation. The oxygen depletion is nothing but the reduced oxygen to the tissue level. Okay, first one is your hypoxia and second one is your ischemia. Hypoxia is nothing but the reduced oxygen supply to the tissue, and ischemia is nothing but the poor blood supply. Okay, that is ischemia. Once if the blood itself, the poor supply of blood itself denotes that oxygen carrying capacity of the blood thing is present in our blood only, right? So it will also reduced. So definitely there will be a less nutrition supply, so it will land up in the damage to the cell or cell injury. Second one is chemicals. Chemical agents like poisonous substance, air pollutants, insecticides, asbestos or also produce damage to the cells or cell injury. Okay, so poisonous agents, air pollutants, insecticides and asbestos. Okay. Okay, let's see the third reason. Okay, the third reason for cell injury is the infectious agent. Infectious agent is nothing but your fungi, viral infections, bacteria and protozoal infections. Okay, so third one is your infectious agents. That's why I have drawn some bacteria and cocci-like substance. Okay, just to make you understand and make you remember. Okay, first one, second one is your chemical, and third one is your infectious agents, which which includes fungal, viral, bacterial and protozoal. Fungal, bacteria, virus and protozoa. And let's move on to the fourth reason. The fourth cause of cell injury is your immunological reaction, that is hypersensitivity reaction and autoimmune reaction. In hypersensitivity reaction you will be having allergic conditions, right? In such cases also the sudden hypersensitivity reactions will causes damage to the cell. And the second one is your autoimmune reaction. Autoimmune reaction is nothing but your own body is producing their antibodies against your own body cells, that is your autoimmune reaction. In autoimmune reaction conditions also you will have the same damage to the cell or injuries to the cell. Okay, so let's move on to the fifth reason, that is your genetic defects. Genetic defects like example Down syndrome, sickle cell anemia and all, the gene will cause the damage to the cell. Okay, so the genetic issues will also result in the tissue damage, cell damage or cell injury. Okay, let's move on to the sixth, that is your nutritional imbalance. Nutritional imbalance like protein or vitamin deficiency will land up in cell injury. Protein and vitamin deficiency is nothing but once the oxygen deprivation takes place means there won't be a proper protein synthesis from the ribosomes, which is a component of the cell, right? So obviously it will causes the damage to the cell. Okay, so next move on to the seventh reason. Seventh reason is nothing but the physical agents. Physical agents may be like anything that includes trauma, shock, radiation, anything. Okay, so the seventh reason is your physical agents. Trauma, shock, radiation, accident, anything may cause a cell injury to the cell, right? So in accident condition you will have a erosion or you will have a wound, right? So that area the cell will undergo damage. So physical agents is also one of the reason for or the causes for the cell injury. And the last reason is the aging. In apoptosis we will see this in detail. Okay, as the age increases the cell will also loses its the cell is also getting older, right? So obviously as the age increases the cell will also get older and it will go apoptosis, that is programmed cell death. So this is also one of the reason for the cell damage. Okay, let's see the pathogenesis of cell injury, how it takes place and what are the reason and how the cell injury happens in detail in the next slide. Okay, let's move on to the pathogenesis. Okay, before that let's see you have 8 causes. First is your oxygen deprivation, chemicals, infectious agent, immunological reaction, includes hypersensitivity and autoimmune reaction. Okay, genetic defects, nutritional imbalance, physical agents and aging. Okay, let's see the pathogenesis of cell injury in detail. Once an excess stress is applied to the cell or excess pressure is applied to the cell, it will undergo damage or an injury. Okay, it will result in the decreases of oxygen, protein and ions. So once the cell is damaged, definitely there will be an increase of oxygen, protein and ions. The cell can't work properly because of less nutrition supply, because the protein ion also deficient, right? So the cell cannot work properly because of the less nutrition supply. How this less nutrition supply takes place, how the injury takes place means, for example, the ribosome will reduce the protein synthesis. So in ribosome, how the cell injury is influencing, there will be a reduced synthesis of proteins. In plasma membrane, the ion channels are blocked. In mitochondria, there will be a reduced ATP production, and in nuclear, chromosomal collapse or chromosome collapse will takes place. So all the four components are not working, working properly, and it's not doing their work, right? So obviously there will be a depletion of, reduced energy supply. So obviously it will result in the cell injury or cell damage to the cell. This is the pathogenesis, how the cell injury happens. I have explained here. Okay, this is enough, and you can write in your exams as like this only, as a flow chart, or you can change it. Okay. Let's see the reversible cell injury in detail. The in this class, okay, the irreversible cell injury can be seen in the upcoming videos. Okay, first one, in the reversible cell injury, if you seen in the microscope, you'll have morphological changes first. Okay, that morphological changes includes two things, that is cellular swelling and fatty change. The first one is this is your morphological changes. Okay, when you place the tissue and see in the microscope means, you'll see the morphological changes. That is your first one is your cellular swelling, and second one is your fatty change. Okay, second one is your fatty change. In order to know the cellular swelling and fatty change in detail, you should know what is ICF and ECF. Okay, ICF is nothing but intercellular fluid, and ECF is extracellular fluid. If there is no first of all, you should know what is meant by hemostasis. Homeostasis means, hemostasis is different, homeostasis is different. Homeostasis is nothing but the maintaining of a there will be an ICF and ECF maintenance, right? That is your homeostasis. Okay, I'll tell you what is meant by homeostasis, how and all in upcoming classes. To know it, there will be a proper ratio maintenance between ECF and ICF. In the reversible cell injury, there won't be the ECF and ICF ratio will not be maintained. So once this ECF ICF ratio is not maintained means, the water from the extracellular fluid will be absorbed by within the cell, absorbed by the cell, or it will increases the ICF within the cell. Okay, you have three changes in cellular swelling. That is, your first one is your hydropic, second one is your mucoid, and third one is your hyalos or hyaline change. Okay, let's see each one in detail. First one is your hydropic change. When the water from the extracellular fluid goes inside and causes the cellular swelling, that is called your hydropic change. Hydropic change of reversible cell injury. Okay, hydropic swelling, water goes inside the cell and produces the swelling inside the cell means, that is the swelling of the cell means, that is your hydropic change. In case of water, if protein like substance goes inside the cell and produces swelling, cellular swelling, that is called hyaline change. Okay, you have three things, right? Oxygen, protein and ions, right? So each one, remember like that. If protein goes inside the cell and produce swelling means, that is your hyaline change. On microscope, you will see some glassy substance on the microscope. That is also, it is called as glassy changes also, or hyalos change. Okay, this glassy substance is called as hyalos, and it was the hyaline change is also called as glassy change, as it looks very glassy in microscope. Okay, so let me brush up once again, that if the water is go inside the cell and making the cellular changes means, that is hydropic change. When the protein goes inside the cell, from the ECF and goes inside the cell and produces the changes means, that is your hyaline change or hyalos. Okay, in H&E stain, okay, it will also called as glassy change, because when you are staining the tissue, I mean in H&E, hematoxylin and eosin stain, you will see a glassy appearance like this. Okay, round glass appearance, I mean large area of glassy substance like this. So that glassy substance is called hyalose. So it is also called as glassy changes. In mucoid change, mucin is a glycoprotein. Okay, this glycoprotein will go inside the cell and produces the swelling. That is called your mucoid change. See here, I have written here. Okay, so when the mucin go inside the cell from the ECF and produces the swelling, which I mean swelling, that is called mucoid change. Mucin is a glycoprotein. These are the three types of changes that is happens in the cellular swelling. And the second one is your fatty change. In fatty change, when the fat things that go inside and produces the swelling means that is your the fatty changes. Okay, it is also called as steatosis. Okay, it happens in liver, heart and kidney area. Hydropic change will occurs in kidney, liver and pancreas because of the presence of high number of water molecules. Okay, in fatty change it will occur in the liver, heart and kidney. Okay, it is noted in fatty liver. So I have written here, right? In this kidney and liver and pancreas are having most hydropic changes because of high water molecule. Here the fatty change is also called as steatosis, and it is often seen in the liver, kidney and heart. The fatty change is nothing but deposition of fat inside the cell. Okay, liver, kidney and heart. Okay, it's also called as steatosis. Steatosis. Okay, steatosis. Okay, let's have a brush up from the starting. Okay, this is your important essay question. It can be asked frequently in all your university exam papers. Okay, so let's have a brush up once again the whole entire topic. So first of all, a normal cell. Okay, let's take a normal cell. If an extreme stress is applied to the cell or an extreme pressure is applied on a cell, it will try to adjust, that is cellular adaptation. If a severe stress is applied, that it will cause a cell injury, and you have two types of cell injury, reversible and the irreversible cell injury. Reversible cell injury, if the stimulus is removed, it can be recovered to a normal. Irreversible cell injury, it cannot be. It has two things, that is necrosis and apoptosis. What are the causes of cell injuries? First one is your oxygen depletion. It has two things, hypoxia and ischemia. Second one, chemical infectious agent, immunological reaction which includes hypersensitivity, genetic defects, nutritional defects, physical agents and aging. And next move on to the pathogenesis of the cell injury. Once the extreme cell is applied to the cell, that causes damage because loss, there will be an decreases of oxygen, protein and ion, can't work properly, less nutrition supply. Because of less nutrition supply, what are the components? What are the damage happens to the components? So ribosome will start decreases in the protein synthesis, plasma membrane ion channels collapse, and chromosome collapse also happening. Next is reversible cell injury. You have two things, that is cellular swelling and fatty change. When seeing in the when you see in the microscope, you will see morphological changes. Cellular changes, you have three things, hydropic, mucoid and hyaline. The ECF and ICF ratio is not maintained. The water from the ECF will enter into the ICF and produces swelling, that is your cellular swelling. If the water enters, that is hydropic change. If the mucin, that is a glycoprotein, enters, that is your mucoid change. If the protein enters and produces the swelling means that is your hyaline change. It is also called as glassy change because of the appearance of glassy appearance in the H&E stain. Fatty changes is if the increased number of fat inside the cells and produces the swelling means that is fatty change. It is also called as steatosis. It often occurs in the fatty liver, heart and kidney. Hydropic changes will take place in the mostly in the kidney, liver and pancreas because of the increased number of water molecules. Okay. So fatty changes also called as steatosis. It happens in the, it is noted in the fatty liver, heart and kidney. Okay. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe our channel. Hope you like the video. Thank you.